Good evening and welcome to Across the Pitch. We're the soccer show for people who think Hearts of Oak was an independent rock album. Now, Hearts of Oak was an independent rock album by Ted Leo and the Pharmacists back in 2003, but we're not talking about that tonight, of course. We're going to talk about Accra Hearts of Oak SC, a soccer football club from Ghana in the Ghana Premier League. They are actually one of the oldest and most historic teams from the Ghana Premier League. And tonight we have the pleasure of speaking with Abdulai Suburu, writes for Ghana Premier League Live.com, among other things he does, covering the Ghana Premier League. And it was an absolute pleasure to speak with him about all things Ghana football. We also talk about some of the players that are playing over here and abroad from Ghana. We also, of course, talk about Phoenix Rising team captain Solomon Astante. We also talk about Danladi from Minnesota United and a few other stars that are playing here and in the Premier League. And I don't normally ask this, and this is a bit longer than normal interview, but I will say absolutely to please make sure you listen to this entire interview because, it just gets better as it goes on, and this is really one of my favorite interviews that I've had a chance to do so far. And also look forward to our article that will be coming out that will give you a little bit more in-depth information on the Ghana Premier League. And don't forget to check out Ghana Premier League Live.com, just a fantastic website. Now let's welcome Mr. Suburu to the show and talk about Ghana football. Good afternoon and welcome to Across the Pitch. We're here today with Abdulai Suburu from the Ghana Premier League Live.com website. He has come on the show to talk with us about some of the things that are going on footballing-wise over in Ghana. Welcome to the show and thank you for coming on.
Welcome to say thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come on with us. And now we first met on Twitter last week when I had posted a video on our Twitter of Solomon Astante, who, of course, is the Phoenix Rising team captain. And you had seen that video, and then we got to talking a little bit after that. And I understand that Solomon is a guy that you've been following since he played over in Ghana, correct?
Yes.
And he played with Barracombe Chelsea over there, was the last team that he played with?
Yeah, that was the last team he played in Ghana, Barracombe Chelsea, between the 2011 to 2013 season in the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, and then have you had a chance to watch him play over here on YouTube at all? Do you get to watch the Phoenix Rising games at all?
Yes, I've watched several some videos of him on YouTube playing for the Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, he's doing really well over here. He's the team captain, and he just has been a fantastic player. Now, another team that we follow over here is Minnesota United, and a guy that they have is Abu Danladi.
Abu Danladi. Yeah.
He's a star in the making, we think. Well, what do you think about him?
Yeah, I think he started off very well in Ghana here, playing for Right to Dream Academy. Yeah, he's still a young chap, 23 years of age, having his own way, gone to college in America, the States there, and doing very well with clubs over there. He's been fantastic, yeah.
He did have some injuries, but he's come back now, and I think that, like you said, he's only 23, and I think he's a star in the making.
But yeah, he has done a lot. If we look at the progress from Right to Dream, and that Right to Dream Academy is a nice academy based in Ghana here that has produced so many players. Talk of the Baba Rahmans. They've all passed through that Right to Dream Academy. It's a nice place in Ghana. It's been able to produce a lot of good players for the national team as well as teams abroad.
Yeah, so you guys have got some good academies over there because I see on the website I was on the Ghana Premier League Live.com and one of
Yes.
the things that I noticed is that the list of all the players abroad and I think there's what five players from Ghana in the English Premier League right now.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we have Baba. We have Christian Achu playing in the English Premiership. We have Daniel Amate also doing his things in the Premiership. We have Jordan Ayo, who is also in the Premiership as well. We have Dede Ayo as well, who has been loaned from the Premiership, now Championship club Swansea City to Fenerbahce. We have Jeffrey Schlupp, who is also in there with Crystal Palace as well.
Yeah, now speaking of the Premier League, I notice on Twitter that you're a big Liverpool fan. How'd you get into being a Liverpool fan?
It's been amazing. It's been it's a fairy tale story about me being a Liverpool fan. Actually, started growing up down in Ghana. There was an Arsenal fan. Used to like the Ghanaians so much, even to an extent of having a mini team, a team within my region where we name it Arsenal FC. But something or somewhere along the line, due to the nature, the fans and everything about the Anfield, Liverpool, their history when it comes to fans and all those stuff. That traditional known club it is just took me off. That was around 2004 where I started
Hey,
leave Arsenal and start to follow Liverpool.
in 2004, so you've seen them lift up a couple of trophies. Of course, the big Champions League one. Do you think that they'll finally get that Premiership one next year?
Oh, it was a bit disappointing considering what happened this season or the just ended season, going through the season, losing just a single match in the Premiership, and that was to the eventual winners as well, Manchester City. It's been 29 years without seeing Liverpool lifting the Premiership title. I think after winning this trophy, the Champions League, it will be a good moral booster for the team as well as club to take this team to the next level. Probably next season, hopefully Liverpool can still challenge as they did against Manchester City, and at the end of the day, might end up winning that coveted trophy they've been looking for ages now.
The thing is that, like you said, it was such a disappointment because I think that I read they actually had the fourth highest points total that anyone had ever scored in the Premier League for a season, and they still got edged out by Manchester City. So I think that like you said, they're definitely building the club under Jurgen Klopp to be able to contend for years to come.
It's been a long way since Klopp took over this team. He has done a lot of good things with the team. In his first season, when he took over in October 2015, he was able to go to the Europa League final, eventually losing to Sevilla by 3-1. He had to play in the Carabao Cup final with Manchester City, losing on penalties as well, and then bringing or taking Liverpool back into the Champions League. And in the third season, they went to the finals of the Champions League as well last season, losing agonizingly to Real Madrid. And on a night where you could fault their keeper for the mistakes he made in that game, but they took it and they built their team around what happened at Kiev, and they did very well and went back to Spain, won that the Metropolitano, and made amends for the mistakes that caused them the trophy when they met Real Madrid. And it was all joy when they took a Saturday, a day like this. I think 2 weeks ago, Liverpool were smiling for winning the
Yes.
Champions League. Yeah, they're number 6.
Yeah, and I'm an Arsenal fan, so I was more than happy to see them take down the Spurs.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, and on Twitter you mentioned that you do some work for the Ghana Premier League live website, and I just want to say again, that's such a fantastic website. I actually spent a couple hours on there last night just looking around. There's so much information. So tell us a little bit about that, and what teams do you cover for them?
Well, this group, we are just a group based in Ghana here. What we do basically is we cover Ghana Premier League. That's why we have the name Ghana Premier League Live.com. Everything about Premier League in Ghana, not necessarily the lower division, but by the Premiership, which we have 16 teams that are always playing in the Premiership. We are just friends that have organized around to mobilize to do this because that's what we love to do. Being in there doing soccer or wherever it is, but we love to do it for our own people. We just want to promote our own, which is the Ghana Premier League, and that's where it generated from. We just built this website. Whatever you need to know about Ghana Premier League, when you go there, you get what you want to see. So we cover everything that is, or every team that is in the Premiership, the 16 teams, and we have people, or we are across the 10 regions, or the now 16 regions in Ghana. So wherever any region in Ghana where there is a Premiership, we have someone there who does the job of doing live match reports, writing post-match updates, giving interviews to or players and coaches over there, doing the post-match and the pre-match, and previewing matches of various clubs in the nation, like it is done all over the world. That is what basically we do there, or we at Ghana Premier League Live.com we do. What we do is to promote our own Ghana football, to take it to the highest level. That's our aim, and that's what we've been doing for years now.
You do a fantastic job because, as I mentioned to you, we've been doing some different stories and things like that on different leagues from around the world. And like you said, there are certain leagues that it's hard to find information on. And on your website, GhanaPremierLeagueLive.com, it's really one of the best websites that I've found in terms of being able to find information about some of the leagues that I've been doing research on. And now looking through the history of the Ghana Premier League, I was impressed. This league has been around since 1956. And now it looks like going back through the history that there's kind of two clubs. One is Hearts of Oak. The other one is Asante Kotoko. They seem to kind of be the two main clubs. What's it like when these two play each other? I bet that's a big rivalry.
Yes, that's the most fearsome rivalry you can find when you come down to Ghana. We down here we say the super class, or we call it the El Clasico version of Ghana football. That's the name we give to this. It's either super class, or you say the El Clasico version of Ghana football. It started date back in 1958. This is where this rivalry started, when both sides met in Kumasi, and that was where it generated, where Accra House of Folk they beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko by 4-2. That game, unfortunately, didn't end well, and it had to be replayed. And in the replayed match as well, Accra House of Folk were able to beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko by 5-2. So you can trace down this or their history of this rivalry down to 1958. And if you come to Ghana, when you are talking of these two teams, they are the most decorated clubs you can ever find in Ghana, in the history of Ghana football. These two are the most decorated clubs when you come down to Ghana. You can have, or we have Kumasi Asante Kotoko. If you look at the Ghana Premier League, the history down it, they've won the title on 24 occasions, whereby Accra House of Folk has done so on 20 occasions. The last time Accra House of Folk won the title was in the 2008-2009 season. That is over a decade now since they last won the Ghana Premiership.
I did notice that.
Yes, yeah, that's date back in a decade now, 2008 and 2009, they won their last premiership title, Accra House of Folk. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they won their last ever title in the Ghana Premier League in the year 2003-2004 season. That was the last time they did so. Apart from these two teams who are doing well when it comes to winning the Ghana Premiership, you can you can have 44 trophies in total between these two teams when you go to the Ghana Premier League history. That's 44 trophies between them. But the closest or the team that is following, this is why you realize that these two teams are the most glorious clubs when you come down to Ghana. The next team following them with most premiership trophies is Ashanti Gold, that is Obuashi as Gold. They have 4 trophies, and the last time they won their premiership was in 2015 season. Ashanti Gold. And aside them, we have teams like Accra Great Olympics, who has won the title on 2 occasions, and their last winning the title was in 1974. We have Aduana Stars, who also had 2 titles when it comes to the Ghana Premiership. Aduana Stars, they came in and did it at first hand. The first time they came into the Premiership from the Division 1 into the Premiership, they came in and they conquered the whole of the league and won it, and that was in 2014 season. And then in 2017, that is the last time Aduana Stars had their second trophy. So meaning they also won the trophy twice. The last one is in 2017. Teams with single trophies, you can talk of Secondary 11 Wise, which last won the trophy in 1960. We have Rare Republicans, which was based in Accra, the national capital, which also won the title in 1962-63 season. Mysterious Abisuan Dwarfs, which is based in Cape Coast in Ghana here, also won it once in 1966. And then you have a Secondary Hazakes, which also did so once in 1977. We have Bekum Chelsea, that is formerly of Solomon Astante. He was part of the team that won the league in Ghana here. That was in the 2010-2011 season when he was still playing.
2011, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's 2011.
That was their only trophy, right?
Yes, that was the only trophy he won with them, Bekum Chelsea. And then Wa All Stars, formerly a team that is a team I cover. Wa All Stars. That's my team.
That's your team.
Now, yes, that's my team. The region I am in, Upper West region. That is the only premiership team that is based in there, and it was owned or it's been owned by the embattled DFA president, Mr. Akwesi Nyantachi. That is his team. Wow Stars. They also won the trophy once, and that was 2016 season. Basically, these are some of the things we can talk of when we are talking about the Ghana Premiership till date. So when you come down there, you see that Kumasi Asante Kotoko is the most decorated team in Ghana. They've won the premiership on 24 occasions.
Yeah, it just seems like when I was doing some research before I called you, the teams have so much history. In so many
Yes.
countries, there's teams that have been around for 10 years or 15 years, but it seems like all the teams over in Ghana have been around for, I saw that the like Hearts of Oak has actually been around since the 1920s.
Yes. It's been years of is over 100 plus years now.
And the other thing that I was really surprised by was the size of some of the stadiums. I noticed that those two clubs that we talked about earlier, the Hearts
Yes.
of Oak and Asante Kotoko, that
Yes.
they both have over 40,000 seats. So what's the atmosphere like when you get 40,000 in for one of those rivalry games? I bet it gets
Ye-
loud in there.
Fantastic. As we speak, before I get into the stadium capacities and the rest, you realize that as we speak, tomorrow there is a super class in Ghana. There is a super class that will be happening at the Accra Sports Stadium, a stadium with capacity of 40,000. That is the Accra Sports Stadium, a stadium of capacity 40,000. And I can tell you for a fact, tomorrow this stadium will be packed.
Oh
This
yeah.
is a match. Yes, it will be packed totally. This is a match when it comes to these two teams playing. By now, we will go to the stadium and they are selling so many replica jerseys, so many things. Even before the match, that's today. When you go down there, you see that people are busy. When you get to the national capital right now, as we speak, you see people wearing their replica jerseys and colors of their teams. When you talk of Accra House of Folk, they have the colors of the rainbow, and that's why they are called the Rainbow Boys or the Rainbow Babies. They have their colors, or their colors are based with what is we see on the rainbow when it shows in the skies. When you go to Kumasi Asante Kotoko, it's red and white. And then I can tell you for a fact for now, before tomorrow's match, if you go to the national capital, Accra, right now, you see that vehicles, whatever is moving in one way or the other, you see a flag of House of Folk on it, or you might probably see a flag of Kumasi Asante Kotoko waving around vehicles in town, heading towards tomorrow's game. And we can tell you for a fact, a 40,000 capacity stadium at the Accra will be filled to capacity, and people will still be stuck outside trying to get into this game. When it comes down to these two games, the publicity, the media publicity around these two teams makes everything easy all around the nation when these two teams are to play. I can tell you for a fact that the nation almost or is always like it comes to a standstill. Everyone is talking about this game. And tell you for a fact over 2 days now is all. If you tune into radio stations, television stations, it's all about House of Folk playing Kumasi Asante Kotoko tomorrow at the Henijan Sports Stadium in Accra. That is how it is in Ghana here when these two teams meet. Just as we know when it's between Barcelona and Real Madrid, or for a week in Spain, they have nothing to do than to be speaking about Real Madrid playing Barcelona. And then when you go to my club, Liverpool in England, when it's time for the Merseyside derby, it is the same thing.
Yeah.
Or if we take it down to our fearsome rivalry with Manchester United, when it's time for Liverpool to play Manchester United, just how the euphoria is in England over there, I can tell you for a fact, it's the same thing down here when you see Accra House of Folk logging horns with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. No doubt about that. The euphoria, everything is always at stake.
Yeah, I think that for our American listeners over here, that the closest thing that we could probably compare to over here is when we have the Super Bowl in American football, and it's just one of those things when the game is on, there's not any cars on the road because everybody's watching the game. So it sounds like that's what it's like when those two clubs match up.
Fantastic.
It's not just who's at the stadium and outside of it. The whole country
Yes.
has their eyes on this game.
That's it. That is what you can find when it comes to these two teams logging horns anywhere, be it at the Kumasi Baba Yara Sports Stadium or the Accra or Hinijan Sports Stadium. The nation goes to a still. Everyone is trying to get a view. If it is about commentary, the mind-boggling games start coming in from fans all over. People trying to psych themselves up. But these two teams have the history of one of the worst disasters that has ever occurred in Africa, and let me say, precisely Ghana. That was in May 9, 2000, when we had this stadium disaster that claimed over 127 lives when these two teams log on in the Accra Sports Stadium, where they will be playing tomorrow again. It was an encounter whereby Kumasi Asante Kotoko fans were disappointed in a goal they felt was a legitimate goal, but was disallowed by the officials. That angered them, and they started throwing, kicking, beating each other in the stands, and the police had to throw tear gas onto that the stands, and it caused a lot of mayhem on that day, and we lost about 127 lives on that day. That was May 9th. Yeah, so when it comes to these two teams, like I just said, it's always something everyone is always cautious of when you hear these two teams as of folk playing against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Security apparatus is always at its best due to what we've ever seen against these teams. So you see very well that everything is always intact when it comes to security. Tight one, of course, so that we don't witness what we've seen over years now again happening, whereby people will go to the stadium to watch football matches and never come back to their houses. And it was a very terrible time at that time. So these two teams have so many histories we can trace down from them. But like I said, everything started in the 1958 when they both met to play, and that was where the rivalry kick-started. And it's just like this for now till then.
Wow, it sounds like just an amazing experience, and if I ever manage to get over there, I definitely need to try and be there when that game happens. Now, I know that you mentioned to me that there's another big event that's coming up where Ghana right now is preparing for the Africa Cup of Nations, which is a tournament that's getting started in Egypt here next week. It looks like on June 21st. Tell us a little bit about that, and where do you expect that Ghana should finish in that tournament?
Yes, just as before we came on, or before we started this conversation, Ghana just had an indoor practice match with South Africa, who are also going to this tournament, and it ended 0-0 before we just had this chat we are having. The game ended 0-0, and that is the second game Ghana has played towards this AFCON. Their first match was against Namibia, where they lost by a goal to nil. And now, just before we came online, they lost again. They drew 0-0 with South Africa, who are also going to participate in this tournament. Ghana has been chasing the Nations Cup trophy for over 37 years now. Ghana hasn't won the African Cup of Nations trophy. So it's something.
So you said, did you say 37 years?
37 years
57.
Now. Ghana has 37. Ghana hasn't won the Nations Cup So it's something every Ghanaian is anticipating that this year. And then you could realize that we've come close in years like 2010 when we went to the final against Egypt, who we lost to by a goal to nil in that final. And in 2015, we again went to the finals, but we lost on penalties as well
Oh, wow.
to Ivory Coast. So we've been trying all we can, but we are not yet there. So this year round, everyone is thinking, everyone in Ghana is hoping and praying that this could be our year to end that 37 good years drought so that we can pick this trophy and bring it back home. And like I said, a lot of people are a bit disappointed in the sense that these are preparatory matches Ghana are playing. We lost the first preparatory match to Namibia, who are also a team that will be participating at the tournament in Egypt. And today, as I said, we drew 0-0 with South Africa, who will also be at the tournament. So these are all things Ghanaians are saying. For now, we should have been winning such games against South Africa, against Namibia, but we are not seeing it. But we know very well that it do happen at times. At times we see teams that will go into preseason or tournament friendlies, lose those games, but when they get to the main trophy, the main tournament, you see them performing, and then it's all about being united, keeping together, having the cohesion and all those things to take this team further. And then the other issue with this Black Stars team is that you see there are a lot of Ghanaians who, in one way or the other, has lost faith in this Black Stars team. I can tell you the days of the Black Stars when they are playing, those days, the memorable days of them. When they are playing, you go out wherever you are going, you can see people around streets or wherever. Everyone is either at the game center. People are watching from their houses and all those things. But all these things came to a halt when Ghana went to the World Cup in Brazil. That was in 2014. And we had a lot of issues over there where players were protesting over bonuses that were due them and all those stuff. And Ghana ended up poorly, going out at the group stages. And when they came down to Ghana, and a lot of Ghanaians who had the zeal, who used to follow this team all wholeheartedly, lost faith in them due to the happenings that unveiled itself at Brazil. So many are of the view that for the Black Stars to conquer the support, the love of the nation back, they need to do something concrete. And there is nothing concrete to do to make Ghanaians have that feel, that love for them again, than to go to Egypt and come home here, Ghana, with a trophy. When they are able to do such a thing, I can tell you for a fact that Ghanaians will rise up again and take this team as they used to do for this team. But for now, most people don't have that. They don't have that. What will I say? They don't have that zeal in this team. They are not having the confidence that this team going into this tournament can do it. But when you look at the players that have been paraded by their head coach, James Akwesi Appiah, you realize that there's a bit of continuity in the Black Stars setup, which tells you that they have a good team. When they get there, they can participate with the teams like Egypt, who are hosting it, Senegal, who will be there, Guinea, that will be there, Ivory Coast, that will be there, Algeria will be there, Tunisia will be there, Morocco will be there. These are household names when you come to Africa, Nigeria, Cameroon. Cameroon, who are the defending champions, are in the same group with Ghana Black Stars. So that tells you a lot about what Ghanaians are expecting from this team. You look at the last edition of this tournament, where Ghana went, and the squad they are taking to Egypt this year around, you find out that we have 9 players that were in the in the 2013 edition of this tournament. And now we can find the last edition that was in 2017. We can have 12 players that were in the squad. Also being part of this 23-man squad, James Kwesi Appiah is taken to the tournament. So that is where I say there's a bit of continuity. The players have been around. They've gone to major tournaments. Some of them are going to their third, fourth, fifth AFCONs with the Black Stars. So we can't say we have there won't be that much experience in the team. And we have the talismanic man there as Samoa Jan, who we know his exploits against United States of America at the World Cup when Ghana played against United States of America. He's still around this team, even though
I watched that game.
Yeah.
And one thing, not to interrupt you, but one thing that you mentioned that one of our other co-hosts who couldn't make it tonight, Matt. One of the things that you mentioned was continuity on the back line, and one of the things that Matt talks about on our show all the time is how important continuity is on the back line. So that's something that we think is really important in terms of having a solid defense. And from what I'm hearing is it sounds like Ghana has been kind of knocking on the door, and you've been to the finals a couple times. Sounds like you had some real tough losses, and you guys are just looking to break that door down and kind of end that big drought like you'd been talking about.
Yeah, we are knocking very hard to just end this drought. Ghana is a household name when we come to African football. We've seen our exploits in the World Cup as well. 2010, we almost made history by being the first African country to go to semi-finals, which we weren't fortunate when Asamoah Gyan missed a penalty against Uruguay. So we've been there, we've seen a lot, and then people are expecting more or a lot from this team. So going into this tournament, the other good thing about this tournament is that the president of the land, President Akufo-Addo, has done something, or he has taken this as if it's part of his campaign promises. He's trying all he can, make sure that these guys are very comfortable and they have all the needed materials they need to go to Egypt and conquer the whole of Africa. So with the president behind this team, always in touch with them, they are in Abu Dhabi for their training camp. And I can tell you, the president is always in touch, trying to know whatever is happening, giving them support morally, in whatever way, tries to motivate them so that at the end of the day, these guys can go to Egypt and come back to Ghana with a trophy.
Sounds like they're on the right track, and I'm certainly going to be rooting and watching for Ghana over here to bring that trophy back home from Egypt. I do have, I've got two more questions left. One I'm going to save for the end because that's kind of the biggest story that's going on in Ghana right now, so I'm going to save that for the end. But one of the things that you did mention is the number of players from Ghana playing abroad, and we touched on this a bit earlier. But just in the United States alone, I counted that there's 11 players from Ghana in the MLS, 20 in the USL Championship, 5 in USL League One. Now we've already talked about a couple of guys earlier, and Darren, who is one of our other writers here for us, he's a Tulsa Roughnecks fan, so he's going to want us to ask you about Iddrisu Abdallah from the Tulsa Roughnecks. He's an up-and-coming talent, too. What do you think about him?
Well, Iddrisu Abdallah, he's a fantastic guy, like we mentioned about Abu Danladi, who is he's also a young chap picking up very well. You realize down here in Ghana, he has won the a domestic trophy in Ghana before leaving Ghana. He won it with Betim United. That was the FA Cup they won together. And then I'm very glad he's doing his things over there. He has been fantastic. Still a young chap. He's been around. We left Ghana, went to Mozambique, did very well there by winning a title, the title in the 2017 season with the Mozambican, where he won. The title with them. And only the most beautiful thing is he scored the goal that propelled them to the title. So he has done a lot. If you take Mozambique down to Ghana, he played for Midiama Sporting Club as well before moving to Betim United. Going up, he has seen a lot. And now being there over there in America, he's been with the youth system of Ghana for some time. Was part of the Ghana under 17 team in 2013, and later in 3 years down the lane, he was part of the Ghana under 20 team as well in 2016. He's a young chap. Every Ghanaian is hoping and praying that things work out for him very well, that so that we could see him prospering beyond what he's doing right now. He's a great player, I can say for a fact.
Yeah, it sounds like for a young guy that he's already not only scoring goals, but he's scoring big goals. He's on winning teams. It sounds like a real winning player. Now, the last question that I had for you here tonight was kind of the big one that's going on in terms of news over in Ghana. So now, as I understand, the 2018 season was actually suspended, and there was no champion crowned last year. The league is planning to kick off again in August, from what I'm reading. What exactly happened at the end of last season that led them to actually fall off the season? Was it like a refereeing controversy, or what exactly happened?
If you realize that 2018, it wasn't due to refereeing or whatever, but it was due to the issue of Anas Armiyao Anas expose. The bribery scandal, the corruption and bribery scandal that shook the whole of Africa, or Ghana to be precise, when video footages of the then GFA President Akwesi Nyantakyi had bribery and corruption issues, taking monies and doing other things that were contrary to the rules or the regulations of FIFA, as well as the FA Ethics Committee. It was due to this issue when the video came up, when the video was aired, it caused a lot of confusion down there in Ghana. So they had to suspend the ongoing league as at then, which was going very well. So it wasn't due to anything, but it was due to the expose on bribery and corruption that was in Ghana football, where you could see referees taking money from clubs officials and club supporters to make or sure that they turn the resources of games. And it made them to suspend a lot of referees in Ghana, as well as some of them in Africa, and then others had their suspension lifted, and others were given a life ban by CAF, as well as FIFA, taking off their badges from them, and all those stuff. Football administrators involving in corruption, picking money from other clubs or giving money to match officials to change resources. It was due to all this in that state that made them to suspend the league, and eventually we had FIFA suspending, or first FIFA giving the then GFA president or FA president 90 days suspension, and after the 90 days, it followed it up by giving him lifetime ban. And as we speak now, that lifetime ban, and on the 4th of next month, that will be July, and the Court of Arbitration of Sports will be hearing this issue as Mr. Akochi Nyentechi has gone to appeal against the lifetime ban being given to him by FIFA. So until after the 4th or until CAS give us something concrete, he's now he's no more the FA president and has been banned from all footballing activities for life. This was what brought about the
And
closure
that's a
of
ban
the
you're
league.
saying not just in Ghana, but that's a ban from FIFA altogether, and he's
Yes,
appealing that right now.
yes, not from Ghana alone, but from FIFA. So he is appealing. CAS gave notice that on the 4th they will be sitting to hear his case to see if he has a case, then they can reduce or they can claim off everything, and then you won't get that life ban again. But for now, until that case is heard, he's serving a life ban from all footballing activities. And now he's no more the GSA president. And due to that, FIFA constitute a committee which they call normalization committee. So for now, currently, this normalization committee is what is spearheading footballing activities down here in Ghana. They are those that are spearheading or they are in charge of the Black Stars, everything concerning them towards this AFCON they are going to play in Egypt. They are the ones that have organized this special competition in which the semi-final clash tomorrow will happen between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra House of Oak. So for now, Ghana has no FA to work with, but we are dealing with normalization committee. Just their tenure of office was supposed to end last year in September, but FIFA, looking at what they reported, gave them extra time and by extending their tenure. So, and then the last ended meeting CAF they had in France. Reports we had or reports from there is that CAF and FIFA they are trying to clear everything so that in the next couple within this year, in the next couple of months, we will see so many reforms coming into the Ghana football, and then they will open the doors for people to contest to become the FA president and other football association executive committee members. For now, that has been what has led to the league being put on hold. So as we speak, just as you said, August, we are still waiting to see. We are hoping that by August, everything will be said and done so that we can have the league back on. But when we are to have this league back on, we are going to start afresh. It won't start from where it ended. We will have to start afresh because we have so many reforms coming into the league.
Well, it sounds like it certainly is not the situation that you wanted, but at the same time, if you guys are able to kind of root that corruption out of the league and get that fresh start, like you mentioned, that it could kind of be a rebirth for the league over there, and hopefully get everything going in the direction that you want it to. So now, one last thing that I wanted to ask real quick before we let you go for the day, and once again, I really appreciate your time. But when the league does start back up in August, who's the team that we should watch for, and maybe a player or two that we should watch for when things get going again in August?
Hopefully, when we get back our league in August or whenever we are getting, but we hope it's soon. August, we have the league running again. I can tell you, if we look at the teams for now, we have to concentrate on the two most glorious clubs. These are teams I said, for a decade, Accra House of Folk hasn't won their premiership. The last time Kumasi Asante Kotoko did so was in the 2013-2014 season. And if you look at the exploits of these two teams, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they are being coached by ex-Ghana footballer and one-time Black Stars captain, CK Akono. And then you go to Accra House of Folk right now. They are also being coached by ex-Ghana Black Stars player who in the person of King Grant. So these are two people from Ghana here who are doing so well with the various clubs they are handling, and they are all trying all they can to end this drought they are facing. We've seen other clubs coming from Division One doing it. Teams like Aduana Stars, Brekum Chelsea, Wow Stars. But down here in Ghana, everyone is hoping that one day we'll see Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, or Accra House of Folk again coming to the limelight again, being crowned champions. But going down to players to watch out for, one-time player in the MLS, Shafiu Abdul Fattah, now playing in Ghana Premier League with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Yes, he was once in the MLS over there, now playing in Ghana here with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. He's a chap very good at dead ball situations, scores a lot of goals. He wasn't fortunate to be part of the Black Stars setup to be that would be representing Ghana in the AFCON. He was part of the provisional man squad named by James Kwesi Appiah, the head coach. But when they got to Dubai, he was later dropped. So he's not part of the final squad going there. That says a lot, playing in the local league and to have this recognition to be part of a provisional man squad. Even then, if you go to the rivalry team, Accra House of Folk, they also had a defender who was also part of the provisional man squad but never made it to the main squad, who is in the presence of Fatah Mohammed, a solid defender at the back for Accra House of Folk. You come back to the Kumasi Asante Kotoko as well. I can tell you for a fact when the league resumes, we can be expecting the players who players like a certain Ishmael Abdul Ganiu. He's from my region. He's fantastic. He's a defender, a young chap doing very well with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. He was part of All Stars team that won the league in 2016. And then he's someone that has gained a lot of experience. And I won't be surprised when the league resumes, probably 1 or 2 seasons, he will leave the shores of Ghana. If you go to Obuasi, where Ashanti Asgold is, you can find a certain Shafiu Abdul Mumuni, who is also a striker, a young chap who is doing well. The special competition that is being organized by the normalization committee, this is a guy that's been scoring braces upon braces, hat-tricks upon hat-tricks in this competition. And I can tell you for a fact, when there is a normal league running where they play in weekends, midweek, week in, week out, these guys will be fantastic to watch out for.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be exciting when it gets started again, and we're certainly hoping that it gets started for you in August, because we don't want to have to wait any longer. We want to see everything get back on track for you. We are going to also have an article that will come out along with this interview, giving a little bit more in-depth information about the teams in the Ghana Premier League. And of course, I did want to mention again before we wrap up that your website is GhanaPremierLeagueLive.com. Excellent resource, and thank you again so much for coming on the show. I certainly have learned so much about the Ghana Premier League and just football in Ghana in general today, and I know that our listeners are going to enjoy it. And thank you again for your time, and love to have you back again on the show in the future, maybe when the season kicks off.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to speak to you as well. Hopefully, I'm also hoping that this won't be the first, this won't be the last. Subsequently, when the league resumes, we can have a lot of talks about Ghana football and Ghana Premier League as well. But wishing Solomon Astante and the likes over there in America doing good things for Ghana very well of luck. Being a captain for a a team over there. That says a lot about the guy. He has been through a lot. We've seen him recently lost his mother and then the father as well. It hasn't been easy. It's been tough
He's
for
had a
him
rough
during those
year for him.
yes, during those periods. But it hasn't taken the shine out of this guy. He's still scoring the goals for Phoenix Rising AC. Fantastic player. My regards to all those guys playing or plying their trade in America over there. But before I even go back, there's a one Latif Blessing too over there. He's been fine. He left Ghana when he was the MVP as well as the Golden Boot winner of a season before he left Ghana. And then we have Real Papa Mensah also doing his things in America over there. Harrison Affole, Jonathan Mensah, who is still with the Black Stars team that will be going to AFCON. We have Harrison Affle, we have David Akam, we have Lalas Abubakari, we have Ebenezer Ofori, who wasn't fortunate to be part of the Black Stars setup that will be going to Egypt to do honors for the nation. These are all fantastic guys plying their trade in the U.S. over there, and I'm wishing them the very best over there. And thank you once again for having me on your show. Hoping to hear from you or to have more of such with you. I'm grateful.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I am very excited to continue talking with you on Twitter, and you're going to kind of be our link to the Ghana Premier League, and then help us get information about the league out over here, because that's what we're all about, is just spreading the word about football around the world. And we're hoping that the season, of course, will end with Solomon raising that big trophy, and he is just having an outstanding season. Actually going out to see him tonight at Casino Arizona Field against Orange County tonight. So hopefully I will be posting some more videos of Solomon scoring on Twitter tonight for you.
Fantastic. It will be grateful to see them on Twitter. Hopefully he scores as well. Wish him all the best.
Well, thank you again, and we will talk soon, and we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.